things that are going on in the news, like the inadequacy of government and, you know, stupid little police folly and interesting things like that. But everything is kept short. A big point of Bureaucrash is to take some really high concept and more complex ideas and package them in a way that's very easily graspable. And it's kind of like an introduction to libertarianism kind of thing. You know, somebody who's interested in the philosophy, but isn't going to go to Cato's website and start reading a 50-page paper. You know, this is kind of a bridge to that.
By some economist, you know, by Milton Friedman.
Yeah.
You know, here's a really thick book I'd like you to read.
Yeah, that's really good beach reading.
You have to get it. You have to get it down to a slogan. Then maybe people will go on. But that's something that anti-capitalists, anti-prosperity kind of people have done, as they've been very good at getting things down.
They're
to a
phenomenally
simple
successful
slogan.
at it. They're excellent, excellent marketers.
Why? Why do you think that is?
You know what? I don't know. It's a necessity. They're the only ones who have realized it, that it is absolutely a necessity. This isn't just an ideas war, and it isn't a policy war, it's a culture war. And they're the only ones who have grasped this concept so far. And that's why they're winning. That's why they came close to winning the election, and that's why they're winning the college campuses hands down right now, is because they're the only ones that have grasped the fact that you can have the most logically sound ideas in the planet, but if you can't throw a good party, it doesn't matter.
Well, I see George Bush, I see the Republicans and the Democrats as the left. So I don't see, I mean, and the Republicans now on economic spending, on economic issues, are farther to the left than the Democrats. They wanted to build, for instance, they wanted to build a $500 million hospital in Iraq to bring health care to the people of Iraq, Hillary care to the people of Iraq. Now the Democrats stopped them, saying it was too expensive. How far to the left does the Republican Party have to be when Democrats are saying to you, hold on there, comrade, let's bring the socialist utopia to America first before we spread it around the world?
But they don't feel like that's their core issue that their constituency really cares about. They feel like as long as they're going to continue to push, you know, pro-life agenda, or they're going to continue to push like an anti-gay marriage agenda, they feel like that's what their constituency cares about, so they can still call themselves legitimately right-wing as long as
but
they've
they're
got
only
that behind
right-wing
them.
on cultural issues. It seems that on economic issues, the left has convinced both the Republicans and the Democrats that they're right.
On certain things. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Bush started talking about at the beginning of his second term that got us really excited. When you start talking about things like tax reform and Social Security reform, those are great things.
Yeah.
And we would be all behind that, but nothing is materializing on it,
No,
and nothing will. So
nothing will. And
when it's all
also,
talk, it doesn't matter.
The Social Security, is that just going to be corporate welfareizing a large part of the stock market, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you're picking only certain places that these things can go, that's really dangerous.
Yeah, so I don't have any faith in either administration. That's why I'm a libertarian.
Right.
So that's why I'm here. You know, for me, I always say for libertarians, it's not left or right, it's less government. And both the left and the right, the conservatives, the liberals, the Democrats, Republicans, take turns growing government bigger and bigger and bigger with each administration on every issue. And so that's where I am. I'm in that small minority of people that wants less. But I really like the efforts that you're doing.
Thank you.
In fact, I may even submit some stuff myself.
I look forward to seeing it.
We will see. But I've seen some of the flyers that we've handed out. You've handed out. Now hopefully we'll be able to have some images of those up on the show. And these are just things you can go to the website, download the flyers, and start make copies of them, start handing them out on campuses.
People do it on a regular basis, yeah. People have actually taken it upon themselves to get them printed onto stickers and just start stickering them all over the place. No, our crashers are constantly impressing me with their unlimited creativity.
What are some of the things that they do? What are some of the things you've heard about?
For example, our friend Tim here, next year will be moving into a house in Iowa State, right? With his brother, which they're going to be completely covering in banners. And they're dubbing it Liberty House, and it'll be all covered in our propaganda, their entire house. That's pretty cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah. There's also plenty of information on the website about our crashes and our activism, which is really at the core of what we do. One of the funniest examples that's very easily and shortly expressed is what we did at the Green Party convention last year. We sent crashers there posing as a group called Progressives Against Progress. They set up a booth wherein the goal was they were going to circulate petitions, and they were going to suggest things that were so ridiculous and so far left, even the Greens would be upset. They couldn't do it. They started off with a petition saying that the internet bandwidth is just like, it's kind of like a common good. It's one of those things that everybody owns, so it has to be taxed and regulated. And they argued that sites that were using a lot of bandwidth, that were like maybe really graphic intensive, that a lot of people didn't agree with, should have their bandwidth limited, because it's everybody's. It belongs to all of us. And they were totally for it. We have hundreds of signatures on a petition. The Greens were totally for this. So they swapped it out, and they started talking instead about how we need to end all corporate farming and we have to go back to family farming because we have an obesity epidemic, and if there was less food, then people would be thinner. Plus, it was better for kids, you know, character-wise, when they had to work in the fields all day, and people were totally for it.
Wow.
We couldn't come up with a petition ridiculous enough that they wouldn't sign it. So we created a flyer suggesting that Fidel Castro be nominated as the Green Party ticket candidate for president, and circulated the flyer during the actual nominating meeting. We expected this to like seriously incite a lot of uproar. One woman whipped a picture of Castro out of her wallet and starts defending his record as a world-class environmentalist. They were all for it. I mean, there was nothing we could do to get them really aggravated.
Wow.
But it's very
So you tried to cause a riot at the Green Party convention and you failed.
I wouldn't say that we tried to cause a riot.
What about rock concerts? What about doing that? I mean, you know, educating people about rock and roll. How can you get more capitalism? I was at a concert once, handing out flyers, not Bureaucrash flyers, but the organization I belong to, the Libertarian Party, and someone was saying that talking about being against capitalism. I'm like, how, you're at a rock concert?
I know,
how can
and
you
just spent
$18
on a T-shirt too, didn't you know?
Right.
Totally. Yeah, that's actually something that we're definitely we're hoping to expand into this year, is setting up tables outside of concerts and stuff. We're a relatively young organization, so there's a lot of stuff we haven't gotten to yet. But
putting on your own concerts, getting your own bands to play Bureaucrash concerts. You see, I mean, educate people about how rock and roll is a microcosm of capitalism. You do what you want. You have freedom of speech. And you sell it. You make your own product, and you sell it. Well, anyway, there's an idea.
I sold a T-shirt to Ted Nugent yesterday, so I'm well on my way, I guess.
You're well on your way. Maybe he'll play. Thanks a lot for coming out.
Thank you very much.
This has been wonderful. Sorry to give you such a hard time.
Oh, no,
this is
not
a real
at all.
show. So
piece of cake.
Thank you very much. Bureaucrash.org. Bureaucrash.com.
Bureaucrash.com.
LP.org. Go there and join the Libertarian Party, or give us a call at 1-800-ELECT-US. And we'll see you next time on the Libertarian Alternative. Thanks for watching.
Don't give up, learn to live, show the world you're painted in. The colors there are so deep and rich. Who could resist this magical chill? Hold the freedom in your hands, feel so smooth it never ends. Watch your fears begin to melt, tell your lover how it felt, just how it felt. Don't give up, learn to live, show the world you're painted in. The colors there are so deep and rich. Who could resist this magical chill? Hold the freedom in your hands, feel so smooth it never ends. Watch your fears begin to melt, tell your lover how